Jon Batiste is on the program.
Yeah.
Jon Batiste, not Baptiste. It's Batiste.
Yeah, it's Batiste. My grandfather changed it. It was Jon Batiste.
It was
Like
Baptiste.
the whole last name was Jon Batiste, and he changed it. But I think people spiritually still key into that. They always call me Jon Batiste.
Yeah.
They're like, Baptiste, where you at? But you know, it's Batiste.
Now the French influence. You're from New Orleans, so that's why y'all hear Jon Batiste.
Yeah.
I know. Also, we have a lot of Haitian listeners too, and that relationship between New Orleans and Haiti and French and that whole thing. You're born and raised from New Orleans.
Yeah, 504. Where y'all at?
That's right.
Come on, 504.
You heard me?
Say it, bruh.
What'd you
17
say,
Ward.
bruh?
Yeah. I don't know.
Bruh.
That's another vibe. I was,
Your draw was too long on that one,
You
Roosevelt.
see?
Your draw was too long. You went all the way to, I think you was in
Bruh.
Mississippi with that one.
Oh, no, I was going
bruh,
Master P.
Yeah. Delta. I grew up, 17 Ward, Holly Grove, between there and Bunch Village in Kenner. That was my upbringing. It's Creole. There's a lot of French. They stopped speaking French around the early 1950s. So I didn't have a lot of that. But my grandfather still had a little bit of it, so I heard it.
Now, and speaking of Holly Grove and all that, you have Lil Wayne on the album.
Yeah,
So
Wayne.
What is that? You guys have known each other for a long time?
We were around each other. My family is a big musical family in New Orleans, so he knew of the family. I knew of him. He's like 3 or 4 years older, and we grew up about 3 minutes from each other.
Oh, wow.
Holly Grove, if you know it, you know who was there, even if you don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been meaning to work since the last record I made. But it just never came together. The timing was not right. And this one was perfect. It just was like that Uneasy record. I just have always wanted to hear Wayne's bars on some piano chords like that.
Right.
Like-
Some real, natural feeling acoustic piano chords.
Yeah, he's the GOAT for me. Just the ideas. He's a genius. He's an ultimate artist. And I feel like there's so many sounds I want to explore. We got some stuff cooking. I don't want to say too much, but it's just like there's so many
y'all
other
are
worlds.
working together now. Now it's beyond
man.
just this single. It's y'all going into the whole.
It's some records. Like Wayne is, shout outs to Wayne.
And he's a music lover.
Oh yeah,
He's a lover of making great music.
he played guitar on the record. He
On
playing-
Uneasy.
Oh, wow.
That's him playing the guitar
So he's gotten
solo.
that. Because he started that journey a while ago, and he's been taking lessons and really
Yeah.
getting after it.
Yeah. He's amazing, man. The amount of music that he can absorb and make his own. It's crazy what we were able to do, and I'm just glad that there's more to come. I don't want to spoil it, so stay tuned, everybody.
You have incredible people on the album, though.
Oh,
We saw
yeah.
Lana Del Rey.
J.I.D., Native
J-
Soul, John
Kenny
Bellion.
G?
Kenny
G's
G's
crazy,
on the
bro.
album, bro.
Bruh, Kenny G.
How did that happen?
You mess with Kenny G.
I mean, come on.
He's just Kenny G.
I
We're
mean, he's a
humans in the
legend.
world.
Like, you know.
I must admit, man, Kenny G is one of my favorite musicians of all time. To make music that everybody in the world and different cultures connect to so deeply. They play his music, there's like a public square in China that till this day,
Right.
they still play his record at the end of the day to signal this is the end of the workday. Everybody know that for generations. This record is like
Yeah, I read
beyond
that.
just like people loving the music. It's culturally embedded in their whole social fabric.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
And it's instrumental. Instrumental music is deep because if you
And
find
it's just
the
that
right,
soprano sax. That's
it's
it.
just the saxophone. Just the saxophone. Like you playing the saxophone 75 million records or something. I'm just like, I don't know, y'all. Don't sleep on Kenny G. Kenny Cole.
What's
So-
his personality like? Because I only know him as being a horn.
No, he's nice, man. Like he's the nicest guy in the world, and it's just down to try whatever. He's like, oh, that's what we want to do. You in the studio? It's like, okay. So on the record, he's playing. It's just the saxophone, and this moment goes for like 2 minutes. Was just him, and I had this vision of him creating this. It's like an interlude, but it's also a composition. And he was like, yeah, how you want to do it? he's ready to experiment. He was ready to create just these different things. He sent me him practicing on the voice memos. He's like, this is one way we could do it. There's another way we could do it. There's another way we could do it. And then I sent him stuff back, and then he was like, okay, so I took what you sent me and I made this. And it's like experimenting in the lab or something. It wasn't one of those moments of this is my Kenny G thing, and that's what you get.
Now,
That's dope.
You being a native of New Orleans, a lot has changed in New Orleans over the years.
Yeah.
In my days, when I was going to New Orleans a lot was in the early to mid 90s, right? Down there, shout out to Lil Wayne and Q93 and everybody down there. I got an opportunity to really soak up New Orleans in the 90s. But music was everywhere. Right, not only was it in the schools, but you just be a brass band just playing in the street. Shout out to Rebirth Brass Band too, and everybody. But is that still part of the New Orleans cloth, even with all of the changes? That much music in the schools and the streets, and just people desiring to play an instrument.
It's like it's changed a lot. Katrina changed a lot.
Right.
There was a lot of changes with just generationally. I think we had a lot of music that was in schools. Oh yeah, some records playing. The music was in schools, and not as many, as much music in the schools. But the culture is really the people.
Right.
And it's a bunch of musical families. There's a bunch of people who've been there for generations, and that stayed the same. And those people carry the culture. So, my cousin Russell, he recently passed away, but we just sent him home, and at his home you go in the church, and it's people 4-5 generations deep. They got, people from like the band Fish was in there versus, there's a range of like families and influential musicians and politicians and artists all coming together to celebrate his life. And that to me is New Orleans. That's like, it's the people and the way that it's this convergence of all these different types of people. So it's not the same, but the heart of it can never be broken. It's never gonna be a city that's like somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, it's unique. It's a one of one for sure.
Yeah, I recommend y'all go down there and feel it. Feel the energy and
Everybody
vibe.
here's been in New
I
Orleans.
love it.
That's right.
Man, I love going down there every time. It's like I'm going to my home planet. Get a
It
recharge.
really is. It is its own place, man. It's like, to me, New Orleans is the number one city you could go visit in America, where the trip feels like culturally you're actually leaving America. It's its own thing that much.
Yeah, for sure. It's also like it's intense. When I leave, I need to recharge in ways too, because there's so much in the air. There's so much ancestral energy that's in the air, and so much that you feel when you're walking around that's tied to the situation that we're seeing in the country and around the world. Actually, it feels so much a part of everything, yet it's so unique. I really, every time I'm down there, I tap in.
Now, this album, you decided you wanted to make a radio station.
Yeah,
World Music Radio.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously, we're living in a big transitional period in the sounds we're hearing on radio, especially if you live in New York, right?
Oh, man.
I don't know if it's the same all over the country, but here you're gonna hear African records, you're gonna hear hip hop records, R&B records, Caribbean records, right? You're hearing it all, and then you got the influence of K-pop, which is based in R&B and pop music, North American pop, and all that. Was that your inspiration from going in this direction? Just the amount of different sounds we're hearing from around the world right now?
Oh yeah, it was hitting me, and I thought that this is something I want to make a statement about. I think every artist, the greatest artists that I love, they have this idea that's based on what's going on around them, but they create their own genre out of it in response to it. And sometimes they forecast the future. So I was thinking about what world music meant, and not to make a world music album, but just thinking about radio and how it's shifting to be more global, and popular music feels like the definition of what's normal is expanding. And also I think as a Black American artist, there's a few narratives that people are used to seeing. And if it's outside of that, you know, it has to be dumbed down in order for people to receive it. But that's changing too. That's expanding, that's opening up. And the indie space is even opening that up further. So I thought it was a great opportunity to create this concept record with Billy Bob Bob.
Billy Bob Bob, baby.
B4. Billy Bob Bob is the DJ. So he's you got it through the album by this DJ. I play the DJ. In the album, we put it together. We had a storyboard and a scriptment and characters in the world. We built it like we were making a movie. We had a director. We had a creative agency.
Wow.
We had artists. It was just this idea of going into a world. So you listen to it from the beginning to the end, and it's like you're watching a movie in your mind's eye.
That's amazing.
Fire.
That's amazing. Guys, if you want just, and this is one of them albums, you know, I was telling John before we started to sit down today that music is functional for me. So there's certain artists, like I know I'm going to listen to you when I go to the gym. Or I'm going to throw this on. When John's the artist, you know, I throw it on when I'm driving because I'm going to get some soul. I'm going to get some jazz. I'm going to get some hip-hop drums. I'm going to get some songwriting. Like, I'm going to get a little bit of everything in this. And this album, you really nailed it. You know, the last album you won, how many Grammys? 5?
Yeah. We are. Yup.
Yeah, and that was more of a gospel R&B celebration of life, let's call it. Album.
Yeah.
This feels more entrenched in some ancestral chords and soulful, a little bit darker chords, a little bit too, right? Was that also a reflection of where things are today? You feel like in the world?
Yeah, we in a spot, man. You know, sometimes it's considered to be protest music. Other times, you know, it's music that brings people joy, makes people think, makes people feel human. But ultimately, what I make is proclamation music. It's proclaiming what you want to see the world as, what the world could be. It's proclaiming who we are as human beings at the core, underneath all of it. And I think that is a form of protest to all those forces that want to marginalize us and want to dehumanize us. So I love expressing something that's limitless and it doesn't fit in a genre. You don't have to try to be an artist that fits into a narrow corridor of expression.
Right.
You could just be fly just as yourself and one of one and just be that. Make what you want. So I'm responding to all of those forces and just creating. And I'm grateful that people are into it, you know.
Jon, can I ask you, I want to ask something personal, but you've spoken about it before. First of all, you know, congratulations, you got married recently.
Congrats, man, congrats.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, I liked it so much I did it twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and Ebro's on the way, by the way.
I'm on the way. I'm engaged.
Snap, man, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
But I gotta ask you,
Thank you.
you know, your wife has gone through serious health stuff, and she's been doing better. A, how is she doing? And B, how do you manage to make this music and keep this positivity even when you guys were going through such intense health battles for her?
You know, it's a form of creativity being a survival mechanism. She's a creative. She makes incredible art as well. And there was times, you know, when she was in the hospital, she's a writer. She couldn't write. Her vision was blurred. So she had to take up another form of creativity. So she started painting. And then when she was painting, I started to compose lullabies. Because in the hospital, you know, you hear the sounds of the beeping, people coming in and out of the room, things like that. It's hard to create an atmosphere of rest. And rest is the thing the spirit needs to heal. So I started writing lullabies. And it was deep, man, because the way that it was happening was the paintings and the lullabies started to become a form of us convening without even having words. That was healing and also creating this art that wasn't even for people to ever consume. And that was one of the things that during that time really saved us. It was also a deep time for us because, you know, when this is last year, you know, I started filming a documentary it's about to actually come out next month. But we were filming it then, and we got the news the first month of the filming. The week she found out that the leukemia had came back, I got the news that I was nominated for 11 Grammys. So I'm literally in the Sloan Kettering Leukemia Award, and the president calls to congratulate Biden. President Biden calls and says, "Congratulations!" Nobody knows that that's where we are. So you have all of this stuff, the highs and the lows of life, the duality of it all just happening at one time. So creativity is actually, it becomes a way to move through that and to create something through it. But yeah, the film is called American Symphony, and it kind of, to your question, it literally documents all of that.
Wow.
It wasn't meant to do that. It was just going to be a lead up to me performing and premiering a symphony that I composed at Carnegie Hall. But the movie turned into this study of life and study of the extremes and hardship and triumph. So yeah, bro, I don't know. We just keep pushing, and she's doing better now. So
Y'all
thank
took a
you for
trip.
asking.
Y'all were able to go on vacation, I saw, too?
Yeah, we was out
amazing.
there. We living our life, man. Live every day.
Yeah.
Like it's your
Beautiful.
first.
Beautiful.
Well, and you know, this comes on. You announced you were stepping away from Colbert.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I know you guys have a great relationship, but
Yeah.
the way you move, like, I mean, whether it was your years at Juilliard when you was in college, all the way to, weren't you like the director of the Harlem Jazz?
Yeah, when I was 21.
Yeah, like he was the director of the Harlem Jazz Museum at 21 years old.
Insane.
He's composing a symphony at Carnegie Hall. Like when you start to, you don't really hear Jon talk about or brag about himself, but like if you were to ever go through the resume, every prestigious musical accomplishment there is to be made as a artist, composer, it feels like you've hit them all.
Yeah, but I'm still just from the block. I don't like to.
Well, that's not what you're doing it for. You don't do it for those accolades.
Yeah, but it's so deep because I think that we have so much to offer the world, everybody. And I think we start to feel that only certain communities can do certain things. And that's not true. There's so much depth that we have. We have so much. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I represent so much that's not just about me. It's so much bigger than me. So I think the accolades are just evidence of the greatness that's within you. That's who you can be.
And the giants that you're standing on their shoulders that got you to where you are today.
Exactly. We got some lineage, don't we?
Yeah.
Huh? Ooh.
And the future that's coming too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We about it gets me excited, man.
It's a beautiful thing that you represent and the energy that you consistently bring. Are you going, so you got do you have an Emmy?
We just, man, it's crazy. I won an Emmy. I played ball in high school, and we won the national championship. So fast forward, they called me to do this spot for the NCAA March Madness. So
Okay.
I did the spot for the
I remember
March
that.
Madness. You
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Yeah. So I did the spot, and we won an Emmy for the spot. I won the Emmy as a part of the Colbert Show, but this was for a song, my
Right.
song and the spot that we created. And this was this year. We just won the Emmy, and I got to play ball in the clip. It was crazy. So it was a full
So
circle
you got the
moment.
Emmy, we got the Grammys.
Yeah.
Have you won the Academy Award?
Yeah. We won for Soul.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So,
So we just
yeah,
listened to
that
Pixar.
was
Tony.
the Pixar joint.
Yeah, that was fire.
So
And wait,
that's
Emmy,
right.
Oscar. Okay.
Yeah, we just need a Tony.
Wait, you have mad Grammys.
Grammys, we got that. So let's go to the Tony. Where we at with the Tony?
The Tony, I got to write a musical.
Is that in the plan?
I want to write a musical. We were talking about, remember last time we was talking on the phone, Fela?
Yeah, Fela.
The Fela
Yeah,
joint.
yeah, that's
remember
right.
that
Yeah,
musical?
yeah.
That was ahead of its time.
Yes, it was.
If it was something like that, with musicals, you have to be ahead of your time, but not too much.
Right.
Like, it's a hard, you got to find a sweet spot in terms of what people are ready to receive.
Because this moment in time, we're hearing all this African music that's on the mainstream,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, we've been on this show playing a lot of it and shouting out African nations and uplifting all the African listeners who listen to the program. But we all used to run to that Fela play. And that was before this most recent wave of music. What years was that, Shawnee?
This is
Fella's like 14, no?
Yeah, it was
20
a while
A long
ago.
time ago.
Yo, we used to give away tickets on the
10
air to that
years.
joint.
Yeah.
John, we was giving away
Oh,
tickets
y'all
on the
give it-
air, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's how we was like,
Yeah.
yo, y'all gotta see this.
That's crazy. Yeah, it was.
I saw it
man.
like 7 times. I would take people to go. It was fire.
Yeah. That's something. I'd be into doing something like that, or something in that kind of space where it feels like
A live show every night.
yeah.
Now, would you want to be in it or just compose and write?
Man, everybody always asks me. I don't know. It's hard to think about doing 8 shows a week. I did
lot.
202 shows a year with Late Show and Steven in the band, and it was like that took discipline because I was doing.
That's a jobby job. You got to show up every day, same time, get to this work.
Yeah. I mean, imagine, we would talk about soul. We were doing the score to soul. I'll leave the set, and then I'll fly and go to LA. We'd be in Capitol Studio, do the soundtrack, soul, score for soul, go back. I'm recording We Are in the dressing room at the Late Show. Like, I had the studio set up. So, like,
That's a lot.
doing that for 7 years, I feel like to jump back into something that's that consistent,
It'll be hard.
it'd have to be like feel like a calling. I have to be really in that space,
Jon Batiste. Ladies and gentlemen, go get the album if you want a great musical experience. Available everywhere, but, I work for Apple Music, so go get it there. World Music Radio, Jon Batiste. Let's play that Lil Wayne, Uneasy. Let's get to that. How many instruments you play?
I've been recorded playing about 12 or 13 instruments, something like that.
Do you have like a primary set of things you go to create? Obviously, the piano is first.
Yeah. Ooh la 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 la, yeah de 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 de. Ooh, they got a melody in this room. They got something in here.
Yeah. It's called a lot of rapper weed smoke and freestyle.
They got
something in it.
They left something in the ether, Lord. Oh, yeah, piano is the primary. I started on the drums, saxophone when I was in 6th grade. I played the sax in the street parades and all of that. And bass, my dad is a bass player, and he had the double bass. And, you just, whatever to express the energy, the guitar. I love guitar. I've been into the guitar lately. I've really been into guitar. Jimi Hendrix energy, where you just bend the note, sound like you praying when you're playing. Yeah. I don't know, just like different vibes. You know the vibe.
Yeah.
You express it.
Yeah.
Man. Ooh. You know what's crazy? Remember that sound the accordion get?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh man. I used to think the accordion, I just would stray away from it. Man, the accordion is fire. Don't sleep on the accordion.
That's such a great point. You don't think about accordions, but in the right song, when that accordion
listen,
comes in,
that's the
one. You know who
Steve
finesses the
Urkel.
accordion crazy?
Steve Urkel.
Nah, but really, who finesses that
Remember when he
accordion?
played it?
That what is it? What's the music called? The Musica Mexicana. It's called
Yeah, Tejano.
Banda or
Banda.
Oh, yeah.
Accordion is big in Mexican music.
Yo.
It's big.
Big, bro.
Yeah.
Banda's crazy. They play that when you go drinking at the end of the
Or
night.
weddings, everything.
Weddings,
It's a big celebration.
Them horns crazy.
Yeah.
and never forget when Dilla and Doom came with that accordion on the Mad Villain.
Oh, Mad Villain.
Oh,
That was incredible.
Oh man, we can talk about samples. That's a record too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a record. Like you play the samples and then you play it with the band and you like go back and forth. Ooh, you just hit me with something.
There you go. Take that. Just holler at us when you get the musical so we can support you on your way to your Tony.
man. The hip hop music, man. Hamilton, bro. Shout out Lin Manuel.
Yo, shout out, they
Yeah,
bodied
man.
that. Yo, you guys, this guy's incredible, and as you can see, an amazing human being as well. Jon Batiste, go get that World Music Radio. Thank you
Big
for
up,
coming on the
Jon.
program again, man.
Thank y'all so much. Love.
Love.